it is said or assumed that cartoons are made for kids, although there are plenty of adults out there who actually enjoy them too. But what happens when the adult-only jokes are subtly included in the script of a kids' cartoon show? Well, from Looney Tunes to SpongeBob SquarePants, Fatherly.com posted 50 separate examples of kids' TV shows containing sexual innuendos and drug references, among other things. Now, producers know that it's going to go over the kids directly, over their heads, but what about indirectly? Like, do you think there's a problem here? Are these jokes okay?
You know, initially I thought that this was a conspiracy theory because I've heard it for years that there are all of these little sexual innuendos in cartoons. But looking at this, I realized that there's so many of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's great to have adult humor because we do have to watch the movies. But I think
there's a large adult audience watching a lot of these cartoons.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of the sexual jokes, I think, once you start seeing and realizing, you're like, wow, that's super inappropriate, I think.
I know some of them are pretty obvious that, okay, yes, it's a sexual joke, adult joke kind of thing, but some of them had to be explained to me still, so...
Even now?
Yes, I'm the same. I still feel like some of them go over my head.
So are we just reading too much into things?
Some of them are there.
Well, did you watch some of them, though, that they had on the article?
Yeah,
Some of them are really, like, blatant, and I'm like, oh, heck, wait, this is a kid's show.
And some of them are shows from my childhood, and I would have never had any clue, you know?
Yeah.
I would have been way too innocent.
And look, I've taken our boys to some of the movies or whatever, and I know they didn't understand what was being suggested at that time. Maybe later on, if they'd watched it again, they would have seen it and gone, oh, okay.
So did they ever ask about anything,
No.
and you had to answer?
No.
I think the problem comes when you're laughing at a joke that is not geared towards them, and then they turn to you and go, oh, why is it funny?
Yeah.
Then you're in trouble.
Yeah. So what would you do if someone, like a young child, asked you about one of the jokes that you saw on Fatherly.com? Like, what would you do? How would you answer it?
Yeah, I probably would just kind of laugh it off. I definitely wouldn't go into detail to explain it. I mean, because some of them are really, they're kind of out there, some of them. But I think the thing for me, I always assumed as a kid that people who were making kids shows had kids and innocence in mind.
Yeah.
So for me, that's the deeper question is what's their back thinking in putting some of those jokes in there, besides entertaining the adults, you know?
Do you monitor what Jax watches?
Definitely. I mean, we're a Wiggles house all the way. Like, we have almost
They're
every
pretty
show.
good. They're pretty tame.
Yeah, so unless there's some, like, secret joke in there that I don't know about, that's pretty much what he's watching at the moment.
Right. Did you watch what your boys grew up with? Did you monitor or just say, look, that's a kids program, I'm sure it's fine?
Yes, I did do that for a while, and then I started watching some of them, and it was like, oh, no, okay, you're not watching that. Yeah, but we were into Thomas the Tank Engine and, you know, Barbie and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it was pretty harmless.
Yeah, well, okay, so here's my question, though. If it's... Because sometimes the jokes that are in these shows come out of kids' mouths in everyday life, and you're like, oh, should that be coming out of a kid's mouth? So if it's not funny out of a kid's mouth, why is it funny out of an adult's mouth? Do you know what I'm saying? Like...
No.
You're saying sexual jokes there?
Yeah, the sexual jokes. You know, so kids watch the TV, they pick it up, they say it, they don't necessarily understand what they're saying. But if it's funny for a kid to pick that information up, is it funny for an adult to be saying those jokes? Do you know what I mean? Like, where's the standard?
I get what you mean, and I actually agree that there needs to be a bit of a standard, because personally, I don't like sexual jokes as an adult as well. So even those jokes, yes, they are funny, but are they necessary?
Well, that's the question. Kids
I think
don't really need
especially
them.
in
Do we need them?
No.
And I guess I am specifically talking about those sexual innuendos or those drug references. There are other things where, you know, it's kind of funny, but an adult will get it, but it's not irreverent in any way.
I know in watching Madagascar, I thought there was tons of adult humor in there that was funny, but I don't remember any of...
Yeah.
I don't remember them being sexual jokes, but they were funny things kids wouldn't understand.
Do you have a favourite show from when your kids were young?
Oh, look, it had to be Lion King. I don't know how many times we saw that.
Righto.